Hi guys, this video is going to go over how to stick to your diet on a busy schedule. So a common struggle and objection for a lot of people is time, and life's always going to be busy. Life always has its interruptions, so it's not a case of waiting until life's quiet, there's nothing on, but instead learning to stay consistent while busy, learning to stay consistent while you've got commitments, because if we just wait for times when life's quiet and we just wait for the right time to start working towards your goals, we're going to be waiting forever. So this video is going to go over how to improve the efficiency and ease of sticking to your nutrition, allowing you to adhere when things are busy. And the initial point is going to be writing a plan. So success doesn't come from motivation, but instead success comes from not having to think. If you are getting up every day, you're really busy and you're just hoping to have food available, you're just hoping to hit your protein goal, your calorie goal, you're setting yourself up to fail pretty much. So create a plan. It will remove decision fatigue, it will save time, and it will allow predictability with you hitting your goals, meaning you're going to be much more likely to stick to your calories. You're going to be much more likely to hit them if you're gaining. You're going to be more likely to manage your hunger effectively if you're in a dieting phase setting. And what you want to basically do is know when you'll go a weekly shop, know when you'll prep your food for the week, know when you'll maybe bulk cook certain protein sources for a few days or a week. Know when you'll do all your tasks. Don't leave anything to chance pretty much. And we also want to think about maybe creating a meal plan. So when it comes to your nutrition, a meal plan can be a great tool. Why? Because it creates predictability with hitting certain goals. It removes the decision fatigue throughout our days of thinking, oh, what we'll have for lunch, we'll have this, we'll have that. And it also saves time because you're not spending so much time on MyFitnessPal or Chronometer or Macro Factor, whatever tracking app you use, inputting all your meals on a day-to-day basis. You know what you'll do. It's just a case of like plug and play with your meals. So that helps absolutely massively. That's what I basically follow, and it helps me a ton. When I get up in the morning and I've got a lot of work to do and personal training, I'm training, I've got other commitments I need to do myself. I don't want to log in a ton of different foods, scan in a ton of different barcodes, search up a ton of different items to work out how I'm going to hit my protein, carbs, and fat goal. I just want to crack on with my day. So have routine, have structure available, and maybe create a bit of a meal plan for yourself. And of course, if you need my help, then of course just ask. And what you can do is you can create breakfast options, lunch options, different snack options, and dinner options. So different variations, so you can have that bit of flexibility to help you adhere, but also have the structure. That means you're not completely winging things. And if you are going to create different options, let's say do different ones for each, you can ensure you equate your calories, protein, and macros if assigned. Meaning, if you're on just a calorie protein goal, then just equate the calories and protein. Or if you want to ensure it's got a specific amount of carbs being our main source of energy and you're having that before your session, then maybe assign the macros per meal. Or if you're on a daily macro goal, that would be brilliant. You can also think about making sure it's enjoyable. That will allow you to have good adherence and actually be inclined to stick to the plan. Make sure it's convenient. Don't have a meal that takes an hour to make in your daily regime. It's probably not going to be sustainable. And also cost effective. Yes, as much as steak tastes nice, it's probably not going to be effective having that for a meal every single day sort of thing. And make sure it suits your routine. So if you're someone that works on the go, you're probably not going to have something that requires cooking. Instead, you might want to opt for something like a wrap, maybe a chicken bagel sort of thing, something that will meet your needs a bit more effectively, and also meets your satiety needs. So if you're someone who's in a dieting phase, you probably don't want your breakfast being like something that's like granola, because that's not going to fill you up. It's not going to contribute towards satiety. So make sure it meets your satiety based on whatever phase you're in. We can also think about going a weekly shop. So what going a weekly shop can do is it will allow you to improve the efficiency of your days. So have a set time and day you can consistently adhere to going to the shop. Write a shopping list prior, and what you can then do is you can buy enough you'll know last you for a full week or even longer, and then you're going to the shop once a week. This doesn't seem like much of a big deal or that valuable, but when, let's say, you're going to the shop, it's not just the actual time in the shop. It's taking the time out of your day to drive to the shop. It's taking your time to actually do the shop itself. It's taking the time to look in the middle aisle of Lidl and Aldi because you've got sidetracked and you end up buying a new air fryer or some new thing you don't need. And also, it's the time taken to go home, put the shopping away. So it eats up a lot of time in your days. So instead, streamline things. Write a shopping list, go once a week or even bi-weekly if you can, in terms of your ability to store that food and freeze food. And this will improve the efficiency of your days and your weeks through less trips, and it will mean you're always prepared. You're not going to wake up and think, oh, I've only got Nutella and then some bread. You've got a plan in place. And we bonus tip for you is you can use home delivery services as well to save more time and not see the temptations and things that you might want to eat when you get to the shop. And also, another tip is buy foods in bulk. So buy things in as large as quantities as possible, like things like sauces, seasonings, which you can order on Amazon or get in things like Costco, things like rice as well, and oats or any other kind of carb sources you use. Anything you can buy that's not going to spoil, that you're going to use, buy it in large quantities because it saves money for one. It saves you more trips to the shop. It saves time ordering these items and it ensures you're prepared. You're not going to wake up and not have anything available. And things like frozen, this will apply to as well. Stock up your freezer. Make sure you've always got veggies available. Make sure you're always well prepared in that regard. And going on to my next point is try bulk cooking and batch cooking your food. So what I do is I will bulk cook my protein sources. So once a week on a Saturday, I'll go and bulk cook all my chicken for the week, all my 5% mince for the week, and then all my salmon for the week. And a good way to do so is if you're tracking your calories and you want to be accurate, I know I have 120 grams of chicken per serving. I know 8 servings is going to therefore be 960 grams. So I will put 960 grams of chicken in a big Tupperware container. I'll use a rubber glove on one hand, scissors on the other, and chop it up, which makes life so much easier than using an actual knife and chopping board. I will then season it, which I'll keep consistent, I'll keep standardized because it does still add to your calorie intake. So I'll use like seasonings that's not going to add an absolute ton of calories. And then from there, I'll cook it. I'll then work out the cooked weight. So I'll work out the weight of the chicken, which could be, let's say, usually it ends up around about 800 grams. I'll then divide that by 8, and then that will give me my cooked weight. And then I know if it's, let's say, usually it works out about 90 grams, the cooked weight. I'll then put 90 grams of chicken in a freezer bag. I'll do that for all my chicken and I'll freeze all of it. And then I know I'm sorted throughout the week. In the mornings, all I need to do is cook rice, cook some veg, which I'll do in the microwave, and then I have got my meal sorted. And if you are really busy, you can simplify your meals. So, for example, if I wanted to make things really, really, really simple and easy, what I could do is just cook all my rice in the rice cooker. I could bulk cook my protein sources. And what I could just do is I could just cook mixed vegetables. Let's say I could cook, let's say 500 grams worth. I could then cook my rice. I could then cook chicken, and then I'd have my chicken, mince, etc. available. And I could just literally distribute that between 3 meals. And then that's how simple it needs to be. That doesn't take a lot of time at all. So you could do so, or of course you can have more variation, but it will just require a bit more time. But just to let you know, just to kind of explain, there's ways to make things simple. There's ways to make things quick if they need to be. And what you can also do is bulk cook your meals for the day at one point. That's what I'll do. I'll bulk cook my protein. Then I'll just cook all my meals first thing in the morning because I've not got time to grab a meal when I've only got a 30-minute break from personal training. I've not got time at the end of the day when I finish PT at 8:30 to go home, cook my dinner. I'll make everything at once and then I'm all prepared. So if I have any family emergencies, if my work runs late, I've always got that food available. I'm set up for success. Alternatively, some people like having a structure of prepping their lunches for every day of the week instead of maybe prepping their food for one day. So find what works for you. Maybe meal prep all your breakfasts, maybe meal prep all your lunch or all your dinner, but find some sort of system and cook things in bulk. If you can cook things in a larger quantity, it makes life so much easier. What some people can do as well, especially if you train a bit more frequent, like 5 days a week, use your rest days to cook for the upcoming training days. And doing this will be super beneficial to improve the efficiency and ease of your nutrition, stay on track where you're on the go. It will save you time, reduce stress, reduce food waste, and ensure you're always prepared. We can also consider using something like a meal prep service, so we can outsource our nutrition to a company for our meal prep. The benefits of this is the time efficiency. It means less time shopping, less time meal prep. You've also not got any food waste. It will also mean you can have variety with a lot of ease. However, the cons are the price, and you've got a lack of control over the satiety because you can't choose the exact amount of each food quantity you want, and you can't have an exact control over the macros. So there's some pros and cons to weigh up. The macros being the carbs, fats, and protein for those that are unaware. We can also consider time efficient meals. So your diet doesn't need to always take a lot of time, which is why at times, I won't lie, I have little sympathy for people saying they do not have time. You can utilize meals and foods that are time efficient and require little to no preparation. You can use microwave rice. You can use microwave noodles. You can buy greens from frozen. You can buy a frozen vegetable mix, put that in a microwavable container and put it in the microwave, and you can cook. What I personally do is cook 200 grams. It takes 5 minutes. You can do that while you go and you make your coffee in the morning and you're doing anything else in the day. You can, and for example, if you buy pre-cooked meats, let's say you buy pre-cooked chicken, you buy microwave rice, and you've microwave your veg from frozen, that's a meal sorted, and that will take a total of 5 minutes to prepare. You can think about using something like oats and put whey protein in it, or you can put whey protein in cereal. You can use whey protein in ground rice to make a quick and easy meal. We can use Greek yogurt, for example. We can use fruit as a source of carbs and overall have a meal. And we can use something like whey protein, make a shake, and just use rice cakes. So things can be nice and quick and easy in that regard. They don't need to always take a lot of time to prepare. And you can also simplify your calorie allocation. So what you can do is, just to make things a bit easier and more convenient when it comes to your tracking, divide your calorie and protein goal by the number of meals consumed. For example, if someone's on 2000 calories, they're eating 4 times a day. Their goal for their protein is, let's say, 150 grams. Then what they can do is they divide 2000 calories by 4. They divide their goal of 150 grams by 4, making things nice and easy, because then all you need to do is have 500 calories per meal, and you need to have 37.5 grams of protein per meal, roughly. And this means you don't need to think about how much calories to have certain meals. It just puts it on autopilot. And of course, you can create a setup if you prefer uneven distribution. Like if, for example, 500 calories for breakfast, 700 for lunch, 800 for dinner, and 300 for a snack if someone's calories are 2100. So simplify your calorie allocation. Something that's an absolute massive help if someone's not following a meal plan is pre-log your meals. Instead of logging each meal as your day goes on, plan and log everything in the morning, as this will save time. It will also create predictability of hitting your goals, as if you log everything in, you can see your totals don't allow you to hit your protein goal. You can then adjust and adapt it, add more protein, for example, increase the amount of whey you're having, decrease the amount of oats, so that it can be in line with your goals. This will also have a big impact on your ability to reduce stress. We can also think about kitchen appliances. So certain appliances can be great to streamline your meal prep process. Things like a rice cooker can be superb. You can actually cook a full meal in a rice cooker. One of my clients, Dylan, does this. So Dylan, if you're watching or listening to this, thanks very much for watching or listening. He cooks things like rice, puts kidney beans with it, puts vegetables in it, and then cooks like 5% mince in his rice cooker, acting as like a slow cooker. And then all he does is, then once it's cooked, he divides that between 2 meals, and he's got 2 meals sorted with no prep time. All you do is put the rice cooker on, and then you're sorted. You can get the rice cooker, you can get electric ones, or you can get ones you can use in the microwave. I use the electric one. You can get one from Argos for £20. One of the best investments I have made. You can also consider using something like an air fryer, a slow cooker. Slow cooker can be great for cooking chicken in bulk. And you can also consider like a chest freezer, which, yes, might take a bit of electricity to run. It might be a one-off purchase, but you could always try and get one on Facebook Marketplace to save a bit of money. And it will also save you time, save you food waste, and means when there's, let's say, chicken going on offer in the shops, or when you're bulk cooking, you can book it in massive amounts of quantities. So you could even do that on a monthly basis, and then you're always set up for success. And you can consider when you're thinking about kitchen appliances and cooking methods, which ones are quickest, which ones require little washing up, like an air fryer, for example, and also what tastes the best. To conclude, in terms of your diet, how we can stay on track with a busy schedule is writing a plan. Remove decision fatigue by having structure and a plan in place, and potentially following a meal plan. You can go a weekly shop to save shopping trips throughout the week. We can also consider going on a larger, or less frequent, so bi-weekly. We can consider buying foods in bulk, the largest quantities possible, using Amazon for buying things like our rice, etc. We can consider bulk cooking and batch cooking, some lunches for the week, dinners for the week. Think about a food you want to make. Could be like a spag bol, for example, and divide it up accordingly once it's cooked. We can think about utilizing meal prep services. We can think about what time efficient meals we can have that don't require much cooking, like Greek yogurt, like whey protein and oats, like a bagel and pre-cooked chicken. We can simplify our calorie allocation, planning it ahead. We can also pre-log our meals and consider what kitchen appliances are the quickest to use. And if you've got any questions, please let me know. Hope you found this helpful. And if you do want me to look over your diet, give you some support or structure and feedback with it, then of course I'm more than happy to.